Hello, Principals Leadership 2. This is week 10 with Mrs. Brown. Our topic this week is norms, roles, and expectations. When individuals come together to form groups, it's important to talk about how each person works best and how the group can work together successfully. This type of activity will help set the tone for positive team dynamics. It is also a good activity to use if a group has been working together for some time and needs guidance on rules and behavioral norms. If the group already has an identified leader, it's quite meaningful for this person to lead the sharing process, modeling norms and expectations while bringing the group together through discussion. For most organizations, norms, roles, and expectations are both spoken and unspoken. A delicate balance often exists between what is openly communicated and what people assume about being a member of the group. To set the tone for this type of an activity, you will want to establish common definitions for the concepts and an understanding of why talking about them is so important to group success. So here are some definitions I would like you to consider. If you just go to Webster.com, you're going to get a series of definitions about what are norms. Norms are typically what's average, and so here's examples of basic norms. She scored well above the norm in math. That would be that she scored above the class average. Smaller families have become the norm. That's so true in the United States. And the last one is women used to stay at home to take care of their children, but that is no longer the norm in the United States. For our class purposes, I would like you to take close attention to this type of definition for norm. A norm is a standard of behavior or a value that the group holds, which is understood to be typical or normal for the group, thus the word norm. Norms are determined by the group. Some norms are openly shared while others are unspoken, yet people understand them. Some shared group norms may include adhering to a meeting schedule starting time, regardless of whether everyone is present, or making it a practice to credit people for their contributions to the group. Okay, let's take a look at the next one, roles. This is typically what people play into. They become part of a character, for example, is a type of explanation of a role. So he plays the role of a villain, she was given this starring role, I had a minor role in the play, etc. For our class, think of this definition. A member's role is the part the person takes in order to get things to happen. An obvious role is that of designated group leader. Other roles may include promoters, informational gatherers, or liaison agents with other clubs or groups. Sometimes the leader or the group assign roles. At other times, an individual may volunteer for or naturally take on a role. And last but not least, expectations. This is basically the state of you expecting something. What do you see to be at the very end of a product, for example? The company has expectations of making a profit next year. I save the files and the expectations that they would be useful in the future or that they would be there. So let's go ahead and take a look at our class's definition of expectations. This is something a member or members of the group expect to happen within the group or something members assume other members will think or do. For example, group members might have the expectation that others will be honest or will follow through and do what they say they'll do. Many times expectations are left unspoken, so even though members may think others in a group hold the same expectations, they actually may not. For this reason, it's important for groups to discuss expectations. As your teacher, I expect when I give an assignment out that the student is going to learn from that activity and also do a practice activity so that they can show me what they've understood. That's my expectation. So if a student does not follow through with that, there's some miscommunication going on. For this activity, I would like you to do two things. The first one is complete the norms, roles, and expectations sheet within Blackboard. Do this first. After you finish this sheet, I would like you to come back and email me on how you think this team building activity can benefit a group and its members. And of course, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks and have a great week.